Ladies and gents, welcome back to episode 4. We're back again with your host, August 8th, aka Matt, aka me, as well as your boy KidLethal, aka Keshawn. Keshawn, how you doing today, brother?
Doing pretty good. Been playing some pretty neat games. Talk about some of them here today.
Good.
But can't
Good,
complain.
yeah.
Can't complain.
That's good. Yeah, I've been gone pretty much all of August. And I was living up in Egypt for a little while on vacation.
Yeah.
So it was nice. It was fun. It put a really big mindset, or it gave me a lot better of a mindset towards everything. It's just the way the world works over there is a lot different. So it just it was nice going over there and just seeing everything.
Nice.
Yeah, I missed a lot. And I got back. I was gone for pretty much all of August. I get back. Starfield is released. Baldur's Gate 3 was already released. I was like, man, what the fuck? So, yeah, it was nice coming back home, being able to like watch people play it, being able to play it myself, hearing about everything. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about everything. I know you've been playing a lot of Starfield.
Yes, sir.
So I'm excited to hear about your take on it. But yeah, everything's been good so far, man. I'm glad. How about you?
Pretty good. Just been enjoying Starfield, as you mentioned. I've been trying to get as much playtime with it as possible in preparation for this episode. That way I can have a more well-rounded kind of talking point, or like point of experience that I can talk from. That way I'm not just like, oh, this game is like mid, or like this game is fucking perfect. You know, I don't want to be that type of reviewer.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think I have adequate enough hours, and we'll get to that in a bit. But hey, man, when you were in Egypt, do the pictures of the pyramids do it any justice?
Bro, I'll put up a picture on screen of just like the things that I saw and like the pyramids. Bro, they're fucking massive. I was not expecting to see when you get there, like we ended up taking about 16 hours total getting there. With like flight, Ubers, getting picked up by our friend there. So it was about 16 hours of traveling, and I don't sleep well on planes, so I was pretty much like dead when we got there. And we all were, don't get me wrong, we were all like just like it was like 24 hours plus of like no sleep. They're 7 hours ahead of us, so we're jet lagged, we're tired, we're like we don't know. So we get there, we're like excited, but we're like dead.
Yeah.
And so we drop our stuff off at his cousin's house, and he's like, all right, you guys want to go to the pyramids? And we're like, yeah, fuck it, I guess let's just go do it. So we get there. You have to go through a bunch of security. You have to go buy your tickets.
Nice.
And we get up there, and you're in we're in like the desert. Like when I say like the pyramids, like it's kind of crazy because Cairo, like the town is kind of like wrapped like slightly around the pyramids in a way. Like they're kind of like out of the way, but like the town kind of like wraps around it. So it's just like, so you get all the way up there to the top of the pyramids, and and we park and we get out, and you turn around, you just see this this massive city behind you, and you're really high up, so you just see this like massive view of the city behind you, and then you turn around again, you do a 180, and you just this giant fucking pyramid just standing like hovering above you. And I'm sitting there, I'm like it was like surreal. It was crazy. It didn't hit me that I was in Egypt for a while, I think, until I got home and I started looking through everything, and I was like, wow, I'm 11 hours away from my house. I'm across the world right now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like we were able to go inside. I don't know if I have any of the videos of us going inside, but it was pretty sketchy. It was really fun though.
Yeah.
It's really hot, but it was incredibly hot there. Like we were, it was like heat stroke. It was like heat strokeable kind of heat. Jeez. And we weren't used to it, so we had to drink a lot of water that day. It was fun though. Like really, it was an incredibly great experience. Like I have a way better mindset after going on that trip regarding like everything in general. Like just like everything. I guess I really have to say as like a generalization. It's just everything was just so good about that trip. I'm so glad I went.
Yeah, bro. I'm glad you went too, man. And I don't know about you, but like that video you showed me of that elevator, which AKA a fucking janitor's closet of an elevator. I wouldn't trust that, man.
I saw that and I was like no way that the door opens up and then leads into this like little like tiny shack of a elevator.
Yeah.
And then you just watch it and you can literally like see like the walls go down and everything. I'm like, bro, this is so nuts. Like there's so much there's so much different about things over there than it is, in the United States and so on and so forth. Another funny thing that I found was there's really like no traffic laws over there, so people kind of just drive. And so you'll be like driving on like a highway and there won't be any like there'll be lines on the road to like show people like, hey, this is like multiple roads, but people there will say like, fuck it, I'm just gonna make my own road. And they'll like make their own line. And then if somebody misses their turn on the highway, they'll literally stop on the exit, back up, and then go and then keep going forward. We've seen it so many times. It's crazy.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And I thought New York drivers was crazy. That's crazy.
No,
That's wild.
And it's funny because like they always said if you can drive in Egypt, you can drive anywhere. And after seeing it, I believe it.
We about to start making in America. We about to start making people take their driver test in Egypt. Yeah, pass this test, nuts. Bastard.
Yeah, it was crazy. But all in all, we saw a lot of cool things. He took us to a lot of like the really like beautiful areas, a lot of like the really rundown areas, just so we can get an idea of like everything in general over there. And all in all, I've had a fucking fantastic experience. Yeah, it was like so much fun. There's so much gorgeous things there. It's incredible.
Glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got to experience that, and I'm glad you got to experience that like beautiful like blue ass sea, from One Piece.
Oh my god, yeah. The Mediterranean and the Red Sea are just gorgeous, man. It's really warm too. Funny enough, like the oceans by us is like they're usually like really cold, but I think it's because it's just so hot over there. Even the seas are just so warm.
Yeah, man, you can ride that sea to the Grand Line. Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, all right, yeah, I'm excited to hear about your Starfield stuff though.
All right, so Starfield, where to begin? So I guess I'll start with the story. A lot of people gave this game story shit, and while I won't say it's the most revolutionary thing, it did make me like feel things. So this will be for discrepancy's sake, this will be a spoiler talk. The story, it's not perfect, but I think it's serviceable. Literally, you're collecting these things called artifact pieces, and we're not quite sure what they build or what they go to. So when you collect enough, and this is kind of slight criticism, but when you collect enough, you start unlocking temples. What do the temples do? They grant you powers. So remember how in Skyrim you were called the Dragonborn? Well, you're being hunted down by a group called the Starborn. Very original, I know. So you're being hunted down by a group called the Starborn because you and the group that you were with, Constellation, has collected too many artifacts, and they do not want humanity peeking into the eyes of the Unity because they feel like we haven't deserved it. Humans are trash, etc., etc., and I don't fully disagree with that statement. So you go to the temples, you have various powers. They're all like space, gravitational pull, personal gravity, anti-grav, time and space, warbly jarbly nonsense. It's very much akin to Skyrim and like the the Fus Ro Da and all that stuff, but it's very like space based. So like there's one power where you create a solar flare, not Dragon Ball Z style, lame, I know, but it is like a particle beam, and actually a move called a particle beam where I think once you get it to like level 3, you're basically creating like Kamehameha waves. Let's be honest, I haven't gotten there yet, but it's literally like a particle beam at level 1 and level 2 is literally just like a beam of energy, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm just a Z fighter now. So then you collect all the artifacts, and what the Unity is, it's basically a gateway to the multiverse. So when you gather all the pieces, you start up your ship's grav drive, and then you literally get sent to the center of the universe. Or I guess not the center of the universe, sorry. You get sent to the center of everything. So like anything that does and ever will exist and has existed in existence goes through the Unity or is born from the Unity. So it basically kind of answers like, what is the Big Bang? It's basically like Starfield's way of saying like, where does creation and existence come from? It all comes from the Unity. It's all connected, you know. In science they teach you like energy and matter cannot be destroyed, only transformed. The Unity is basically saying that when your body dies, or in this case when you collect all the artifacts, the energy that comprises you as an individual being that exists gets transferred into something else, either in that universe or becomes a new person entirely in another universe. So you have a choice. You can either not go into the Unity and just stay in the universe that you have put time and effort in, or you can jump into the Unity. And that's basically how you get into your canonical New Game Plus. It basically like rolls credits on the original gameplay that you've done, and then it lets you keep all the skills and skill points you've allotted, and it jumps through the Unity. I actually enjoyed the ending, like the twist in the middle, which starts Act 2, Act 3. It's very good. And then the ending, like, it literally made me like feel sad a little bit, because I had put so much time into my original universe that when I jumped through the Unity, and all the connections that you make eventually become null and void, because you don't get to, any and all companions that travel through the Unity with you do not get to come with you. You're all scattered throughout the multiverse. So if you romance anybody in your original universe, well, that romance is now gone, because that person is no longer there with you. You're literally alone in the multiverse. And so like that kind of made me feel things, because I'm like, damn, is that what it's going to be like? You know, like jumping through like multiverses and stuff like that, or just, you know, going a little dark to like our own reality, like the concept of death, and like, okay, if matter can't transfer or can't be destroyed, it only transforms. You know, wake up in another multiverse, and then it's like, oh man, I'm me, but not me. So I give the story a good solid, I would just say 7.5 out of 10. As for what I believe are the strengths of the game, the gunplay is phenomenal. They needed that year. We said this in the Xbox Game Showcase episode. They needed that extra year and a half to make that game, to make the gameplay like crisp as it could be. And I'm glad they gave it that extra year. The gunplay and the gameplay is good. The ship battling is great. Now, I will say in the beginning, it does get a little... It is frustrating, because you have to allot skill points to this one skill tree called piloting. This lets you like initiate evasive maneuvers more quickly, more crisply, more with greater efficiency. Without it, you're just kind of like just this big fucking janky ass ship trying to like not get blown to bits in space combat. So like for the first 10 hours, I couldn't even engage in space combat, because like the ship that they give you, the Frontier, was not equipped for like battle. But you can make it equipped for battle by like putting on mods, etc., etc. And so that in itself, that has its own skill tree called Starship Design. So if you want my personal opinion, if you're going to go with I think this is the technical skill tree, you want to go with Star Piloting and Starship Design. These will give you access to the best ships and the best mods for ships. So there are different types of ships: Class A, Class B, and Class C. Class C ships, man, they do damage. You are like basically untouchable in a Class C ship. There was one mission that I used that I stole a Class C ship from, and when I'm telling you, man, I was like literally looping guys around asteroids. It was crazy. It was nuts. But I could only do that with a Class C, because I tried it with a Class A and a Class B, and it was just not good. So so like the starship, I think the starship or the space combat is I think they needed that extra year and a half again. A lot of this game's successes are going to come from that extra year and a half that Phil and Microsoft gave Todd and Bethesda. And I'm glad that Phil and Microsoft were able to recognize, like, no. If we release it a year and a half ago, which was supposed to be June of last year, this game's going to be fucking mid. And so, and to be fair to some people, this game is still going to be mid, but I don't listen to some of those criticisms are warranted. Some of them come from, PlayStation fanboys that don't want Microsoft to succeed at anything. So their opinions are irrelevant. I do believe that, again, the 8 out of 10s and the 9s out of 10s that this game is getting is deserved. If you want my official, final stamp, I would give it an 8 out of 10. I think that's fair. I don't think that there is much in the way that would lend me credence to give it a 9 out of 10 or even a 10 out of 10, which I've seen 3 or 4 of them. I cannot in good faith give it a 10 out of 10 or even a 9 out of 10. Maybe I could, because some of the questing is some of the best I've ever seen from Bethesda. Again, I've never played, outside of Skyrim, I've never played a true Bethesda game this in-depth, but I have watched, other YouTubers like Tetra Ninja, The Rad Brad, play Bethesda games, and I've never been overly impressed with the questing. Starfield gets the questing down, and it nails it in a very, perfect way. The only thing that I will say is that the skill tree, the skill tree is not as in-depth as I thought it was going to be and how it was presented in the Xbox and the Starfield Direct. The other thing that I will say what stops me from giving it a 9 out of 10 is fucking encumbrance. I do not like playing an RPG where the whole point of an RPG is to pick shit up and then, hey, you're too heavy, you can't run. Hey, and in Starfield you have an oxygen meter. So if you have too much stuff on your persons, it will drain your oxygen and stamina. And then so you have a white bar of stamina, and then once that depletes, you have a red bar. Once the red bar depletes, you're basically just suffocating on your own CO2. And so you're literally forced to drop goddamn items just to be able to and you can't fast travel. You can fast travel if you're not encumbered. If you are encumbered, you have to monotonously walk across a barren planet wasteland, choking to death on your own CO2, stopping every 2 minutes to regain your... It's a pain. I hate encumbrance. And I cannot wait for Todd or modders, I don't care who does it first, to get rid of encumbrance. Get rid of it. Get rid of it altogether, please. It is hindering your game. Secondly, there's no vehicles. So a lot of the time, 90% of the planets are barren wastelands. Like we all kind of expected. Todd Howard and his 1,000 planets. And I love you, Todd, but come on. Only 10% of these planets actually have life on them. The rest is just 90% of these planets are either trying to kill you because the atmosphere is not habitable to humans, or it's a gas planet, meaning you can't even land because there is no surface and there is no atmosphere to land on it. So it's damn, there's nowhere to land. Also, Earth is fucked in Starfield. Apparently, when humanity unlocked the power to warp driving from Earth completely fucked the atmosphere and the gravitational and magnetic field. So, which is why all the humans have left Earth. That was one of the big mysteries. Okay, well, what happened to Earth? It's completely wrecked. There's nothing left. It's just a sand planet now. It's basically sand land now. It's just nothing but sand. There's no water, no air, no oxygen, no atmosphere, no clouds. Earth is completely...
Really?
Yeah. Earth is completely fucked. And to my own fault, I thought that they were going to say, yeah, because I wasn't sure if Starfield was going to do any calling out to or connecting to any of their other games like Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, or Fallout. So when I get to Earth and they're it's uninhabitable, my mind immediately went to oh, we left Earth because we nuked that bitch in the Fallout games. And it's nah, those games are so for anyone thinking maybe Starfield is connected to Skyrim or Fallout, or the Elder Scrolls. It's not in any way. The closest you might get is the powers. Again, Dragonborn, Starborn. There is like a naming convention, but there is no solid, tangible connection to any of the other like Bethesda properties. So if you're going in there thinking it's going to be like some Marvel Cinematic Universe, like, oh, so Fallout is the past, Starfield is the present, and Elder Scrolls and Skyrim are the future. No, there's nothing like that in this game. Sorry to burst your bubble.
That's interesting. Wow, there's a lot to unpack here. I will say a lot to unpack that you just said.
Yeah.
First, like the story, I honestly didn't know a single thing about the story. So hearing everything you just said kind of made my head hurt.
Yeah.
About just how much expansive story there is, I guess, to this.
Yeah.
Especially with all the physics and everything that they explain, and the idea of like warping, and they really put their full attention to the story from what it sounds like.
Yeah, I can tell that the Bethesda really wanted this game to feel like, look, we gave it everything. And like, to be honest, in hindsight, I can see why Fallout 76 turned out the way that it did, because I don't know if you remember or if you've ever heard of these rumors or these reports, but why Fallout 76 was so garbage for so long was because Todd Howard did not want to work on Fallout 76. He originally wanted to do Starfield and have that come out first, and then do another Fallout game. But before Bethesda was acquired by Microsoft, they needed like a sequel to a well-known franchise, aka Fallout, to make sure that shareholders and investors were pleased with their profit margins. So here we are in 2023, September 24th, to be honest, Fallout 76 launched the way it was, and now it's in the state that it's in. It's a lot better, but you can tell, looking at Fallout 76 and Starfield, that Todd Howard really wanted to focus all his attention on Starfield, and he couldn't. He had to kind of do both, so he had to put Starfield on the back burner until Fallout 76 was done.
Yeah, honestly, it makes sense. I mean, seeing how, I don't know how true it is. I don't know. It sounded like they really didn't have a big team, focused on, Fallout 76, especially with like after it got released too. But yeah, it was just a hot mess. I could easily see, that he wanted to just kind of get that over with, just so he can really put his all into Starfield. And honestly, more power to him. Starfield was his biggest plan. I guess it's kind of like his like magnum opus, if you'd say.
Yeah.
Which is great. I mean, I'd love to hear that kind of stuff, and to hear that's getting well received, especially because when I first got back, it was like literally right as the game came out, and of course, people, they see Bethesda games and they see that like there are bugs sometimes, and
Bugthesda.
And it was for the entire first week, I literally just saw nothing but like hate, and I was like, what the fuck, I was like, is it true? Is it not true? I don't know. And that's why I remember messaging you like for like a little bit after I got back about it, and you were saying how good it was, and I was like okay, good, like this, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about it. And I kept seeing videos of like people doing like they're like the tried and true Bethesda bugs where like, you can get onto the map, and it's kind of funny because a lot of their games, I don't know if it's all of them, but like I know most of them because it was in Skyrim as well. They have the way that the shops work is that they have their stock in like a chest underneath the shop, so you can you can get underneath the map, and then you can just steal everything in the chest. It's like a dev tool pretty much, and you could like steal everything in the chest, and then it'll restock itself eventually. But yeah, it was just kind of funny to see all that. And then I'd say about 2 to 3 weeks after, so it came out on the 6th, right? And we're about 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
So we're recording this on September 24th. So this is 2 weeks after the game came out.
It's actually 3.
Has it been 3 weeks?
It will be
my
on
math.
Wednesday.
My math is dead.
It will be on Wednesday. 3 weeks.
Okay, so yeah, well, I'll say 3 weeks then. So, the fact that it's been out 3 weeks now, and I'm now hearing all positive things, I think it's really good. I think I was really scared that the game was going to be like poorly received, and to hear that modders have been doing really have been like popping off of the game.
Yeah.
Hearing that the game is also getting updates from Bethesda themselves.
Damn, man.
I think it's gonna be going into a really good position. I say give it about a year. Like, I mean, considering that it's already getting well received reviews, and it's just getting like a lot of positive talk now. Is a really good thing for the game, especially for its lifespan. And I think it's a massive W for them. I actually think Starfield's just like I haven't gotten the chance to play it yet, but I've been seeing a lot of people play it, and it just looks really good. I mean, there are a lot of things that I do want to bring up, but I want to wait until you're done with talking about everything, because there's a lot that I was a little sad about, and there's a lot of like things that I hope they fix, because I've seen a lot of issues with like with features being cut out. I've seen issues with like melee being like dog shit, which
it is.
I mean, think about it. It's a fucking dude. It's a futuristic space game. Why can't there be like some like sort of like lightsaber or some sort of like energy sword or some shit? Like I want some crazy sword to like fucking mess around. Like it doesn't need to be some like katana or some shit. Like, I want like a Bethesda lightsaber. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be sick. Or like a Bethesda energy sword. Like, that'd be so sick. But I heard there was like nothing, so it kind of sucks. But I don't know much about the guns. I heard the gunplay is fun. I don't know how many guns there are in the game.
I'm not too sure offhand. I know that so you have energy weapons, you have rifles, shotguns, pistols, and then there are variations of that. Like some of them are like single shooter, some of them are automatic, some of them are double barrel shotguns, etc. There's not much, as far as I know, there's not much variety. And just for a clarification, I have 40 plus hours and 3 new game plus runs in the game.
Really?
So yeah, I've been like in the Starfield trenches. I've been out there in the Starfield, bro.
That's
I've been
awesome,
out there.
man. Good for you.
Yeah, I've been out there in the Starfield.
Oh, one thing I do want to say, and I heard it was actually really good. It's actually a really good thing, because going back to some of their old games, like Fallout New Vegas, for example, its main story was very fast. Like you can beat the main story very, very fast, and you can find the guy that you're trying to kill like super quick, and you can kill him like really early on. But that game is so well received for its side stories and the amount of that just kind of leads into the end game, or the end story in general, is like what really brings it into fruition. And I heard Starfield has really good side quests.
It does. So there now here's a minus for me, but I'm pretty sure mods will fix it. You can only romance 4 characters: Barrett, Sarah, Andrasia, and Samco. These are all 4 of these are members of Constellation. I chose to romance Andrasia, and going back to what I was saying about going into the Unity and all the time and energy and effort you put into romancing and building relationships with the characters, I really liked the side quest that you do with her, because one of her side quests is she wants to track down members of her old team that she hasn't made contact with in years, and she wants to just know if they're still alive. She feels guilty because she left them. She didn't necessarily abandon them, but like other duties called and they got separated like during a battle. And so you help her track them down, and she feels pretty guilt-ridden that one of them is alive, one of them isn't, and then she's blamed for like setting them up, and then you have to get to the bottom of it. And she goes into this like deep interpersonal like conversation with you, like, I don't trust people because people have learned to not trust me, and I have a hard time opening up, but I feel comfortable around, if you choose to romance her or be friends with her. I chose to open up around you, so I romanced her, I wed her. And when I jumped into the Unity and then I found out that I was alone, I literally like shed a tear, because I was like, damn, I put so much energy into that relationship that now it just kind of feels worthless. Like she's out there somewhere, but she's not here with me. So like I think they nailed the side quest thing.
Yeah.
Like what I'm doing right now in my 3rd New Game Plus run, where I'm being a member of the UC, the United Colonies Vanguard, and we're tracking down. We're trying to figure out what's going on with these terramorphs, bro. The terramorphs, them things is scary as fuck.
I don't even know what the hell a terramorph is.
It's literally the apex predator of the Starfield universe.
Oh.
So like,
so it's kind of like Death Claws in Fallout.
Yes.
Oh.
So like they have psychic abilities.
Oh.
They have powers just like you, but they're not as vast and they're not Starborn related. They literally have psychic abilities where if you are a quote weaker species or a weaker organism, they will mind control you, use you as a pet or a toy to do their bidding. And it's like, bro, they made me see like visions of like characters from my original gameplay run, and I'm like, bro, that's actually pretty immaculate on Bethesda's part. I'm not done with the quest line yet, but I like it. There's a lot of like kind of some of the space sci-fi stuff. There's a lot of cloning going on with this story quest line where you meet this character Hadrian. She's a clone, not a child, but she is a clone of another character named Francois Sanon from like 30 years ago that is dead, but they took his like genetic material and made a clone, like made a female clone of him. And I'm like, all right, there we go. There's that sci-fi stuff. There we go. Now we finally cooking with that space, that futuristic, because like the timeline is 2330 where like all this stuff takes place. So I'm like, yeah, there we go with this like space shenanigans, sci-fi, like wibbly warbly magic stuff. So like, I'm not done with that quest line, but like I'm enjoying a lot of the side quests that I have chosen to do. They chef's kiss. They knocked it out the park with the questing in this game.
That's good. Yeah, I was really hoping for that. I mean, all their games really heavily rely on the quests.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like explorations, I think definitely, but
yeah.
Like whenever I go back to play like Skyrim and stuff, like I genuinely like to play a lot of the quests.
Yeah.
I like to play a lot of like the companion quest lines. A lot of the faction quest lines I really enjoy.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for mentioning that, because the other faction quest line is you can be an undercover op for the Crimson Fleet, which is a bunch of space pirates, or you can be like a double agent and turn on the UC Vanguard. And man, that was such a good quest line, bro. It was because you feel for the pirates, because they just want to. They do a lot of pirate shit like pillaging, all that stuff, but like they just want to live in a universe where they are not beholden to the rules and laws of like an oppressive government force. And so, but the caveat to that is that means that they oppress other people that don't see their way. But they do make like Jasper Crick is like that's like the carrot on the stick we're chasing. We work with this guy named Delgado, who's the captain of the Crimson Fleet, and his second in command, Nevaeh, and you get to kind of learn like who these people are. And they're not necessarily like people that are just bad people. I mean, yeah, they're pirates, but like they are a product of the environment that they were raised in. Delgado's parents were killed, so he was kind of adopted by the Crimson Fleet. So like he never had a choice, and neither did Nevaeh. A lot of these people are here because, again, the regular civilized world rejected them for who they were, and so they found belonging with the Crimson Fleet. And so if you choose to betray them or not, which I did, you feel bad because it's like, damn, I really didn't want to do this to you guys, but like I didn't want to be like evading the UC Vanguard my entire life or my entire playthrough of this game either. So so like again, chef's kiss, they knocked it out of the park with the questing. I would argue that some of their best work with the questing, to be quite honest with you.
That's good. Yeah, I heard a lot of good things, and I'm really glad that it's up there. Now it sounds like kind of going back to what you said with like the multiverses and like New Game Plus.
Yeah.
Kind of sounds like they made it so you start New Game Plus when you go through this multiverse that kind of like kind of like resets everything in a way.
Yeah.
Kind of like resets the universe, because everybody gets kind of put back into like a different place.
Yeah.
Now, that sounds fucking cool. I love the fact that they took the idea of New Game Plus and kind of like
incorporate it into the campaign.
Incorporate it into the campaign. Yeah, that's so sick. Like the fact that you can you like go through the campaign, you go through this like whole you go through this whole metaverse, multiverse, crazy, crazy bullshit. I don't know. My brain's too small for everything that you explained, but it's just crazy to say you go through all of that and then you get shot into this multiverse and then it leads right into New Game Plus. It just like it fits so perfect. Yeah. They did it so well from the sounds of it. I honestly cannot wait to play it. I had not touched Starfield once yet, mainly because I just been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
And like other games, but wow, it's just like, yeah, you really sold me wanting to play the game so bad.
I would say it's worth at least playing through the main campaign.
Yeah.
Because that and doing some of the side quests. Now I will say, and the final thing I'll say on Starfield is the first round of DLC is called Shatter Space. Now we have no information on what it's about, or let alone when it's even coming out, but from what I heard, because as of September 24th today, Bethesda has officially announced like they have 10 million players playing Starfield. That's amazing. So like they're and I think Todd Howard or Phil Spencer, one of them, did an interview at Xbox Game Showcase Tokyo and said, like, we look at the amount of people that still play Skyrim, 10 plus years later, and we want Starfield to have the same lifespan, but with more support than we gave Skyrim and even some of the Fallout games. So expect a lot of story DLC and just a lot of quality of life DLC for the next. I would almost be inclined, just hearing those comments, to say the next decade, because you'll have modders that you know what modders do with Bethesda games. They make they make it a match. If it's good, they'll make it great or perfect, and then you'll have Todd Howard and Bethesda proper doing quality of life fixes, bug fixes, like DLC, performance updates, DLC drops, campaigns. Like they'll push the story along. So I would say that Starfield is here to stay for like the next 10 years. I would argue.
I hope so. Yeah, I really hope so. I mean, I heard good things, and I really, really hope that it stays for a while. I mean, the fact that people are still going crazy with Skyrim after all these years, I hope it's the same with Starfield.
Man, to be fair, the fact that people still playing Fallout 76 is wild to me.
Yeah, I heard it's really good now. I don't know how true that is. I heard it was actually pretty decent, especially with like the DLCs that they've been coming out with and stuff. I've never touched it. I know some people who have played it for a little bit and quit. But compared to how it was in the beginning, I heard it got a lot better.
Yeah. And that, to me, that's a lot of where Bethesda's like skill set is at. For me, I've always looked at Bethesda as like, it's not how they start, but how they finish.
Yep, I agree.
And that's literally like, that is like the signature of their company. They might start terrible, but they'll eventually their game will become great. And so in the case of Starfield, where I think it's already good to great, it can only go up from here, to be quite honest. Yeah. And modders and all that, and Bethesda themselves will make sure of that. Like, with that being said, I don't think. Hey, look, Elder Scrolls fans, I love y'all. Elder Scrolls 6 ain't coming out till like at least like 2027, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while.
It's gonna be a minute, so buckle up, go back and play Skyrim or Oblivion or whatever, because y'all not gonna be eating until like, I would say 2026, 27. But perfect. But go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
I was gonna say, but like, and this is kind of a segue. The one thing that did kind of like, because you mentioned negativity at the beginning when Starfield launched, and that's because people did what the developers of Baldur's Gate 3 said not to do, and they immediately compared Starfield to Baldur's Gate, and everyone, even Bethesda themselves, were like, hey man, what do you want us to do? This game is perfection. Like, no RPG in the industry can match this. Hence why the developers even said, do not make us the standard for RPGs. This is an outlier. We did our best. We glad you enjoyed it. But do not look to the industry to like make this hard pivot. And let alone, even if they do it successfully.
Now, before I get into my absolute love for Baldur's Gate 3, one more thing I want to say about Starfield, and it ties back into episode 1. Because I'm very happy that I get to say this. But my ship penis that I've been hoping and praying for, I've seen it come into fruition.
Nice.
And the fact that the game's a W means I'm gonna have a W ship penis.
Yeah,
that's
man.
all I care about.
Yeah,
if I can fly my ship penis into the multiverse and be happy doing it,
yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah, we're gonna fuck the multiverse. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm down to fuck the multiverse for my ship penis, bro. I'm down.
Let's go.
But
Yeah.
no, I'm glad. I will say I'm very, very happy. I was scared when I first got home about it, but now I'm very happy with what I've been hearing.
Yeah.
Especially everything that you just mentioned as well. I'm excited to try it out and see how it goes for myself.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, now leading into Baldur's Gate 3. Now, before I get started, I will say my explanations are not going to be as crisp as yours because my brain is not as big as yours.
Oh man.
But I will say that this game has lived up to all expectations from like reviews that I've seen online, from my own personal thoughts. It's lived up to all of that and more. I will say it's very close to a perfect game in my opinion. I truly believe it's very, very, very close to being considered perfect. And I know nothing in this world is perfect, but I think this might be the closest that we can get to perfection in a video game. I don't know. Now, I will say I'm currently in Act 3, and they've been pumping out story updates. So I'm kind of glad that because I'm playing with a dual run currently.
Yes.
And so we're not like flying through the game. We're taking our time. We're really going through, like, when we first started, we've gone through, so there's 3 acts in total. And Act 1 is pretty fucking massive for what it is. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of side quests, a lot of side story. There's a lot of things you can find. We honestly didn't even get to do all of it. There's a lot. And what's pretty funny is that I think it took us about 25, I want to say 20 to 30, I want to say 20 to 25 hours. I believe it was 25 hours.
Okay.
By the time we decided, fuck it, let's go to Act 2.
Yeah.
And so right now, looking at my Steam chart, right now I'm currently 64 hours into the game.
Yeah.
We just got into Act 3. So we're taking our time. I'd say we're taking about 20 to 22 hours
in Act, basically.
And what's funny is that the acts themselves are just get bigger and bigger. So Act 1 is the smallest. Act 2 obviously is the medium, and then Act 3 is the biggest. Yeah. I have not gotten to Baldur's Gate yet, and I know that's a part of Act 3. So
right.
I was really hoping I can get there by the time we did this, but we're just taking our good old time. We're going through everything we want to go through. We're rizzing up everybody we want to rizz up.
Yeah.
We're talking to everybody. We're killing anybody we want to kill. Like, we're doing everything. I'm currently playing. It's me and him, and then I'm playing a barbarian with a subclass of warrior. He's playing a bard with a subclass of warlock. And then he's controlling Shadowheart, who's a cleric, and I'm controlling Karlach, who I refer to as Carla, but her full name, her name in the game is Karlach, but I just say Carla. So I'm controlling Karlach, and I made her a sorcerer, and then we just kept Shadowheart as a cleric. Now I will say, yeah, I never thought. I'm gonna just go kind of like off the rails with this talk about the game.
Sure, go ahead.
I never thought that Bard would be as OP as it was, but I usually let him do all the talking when he plays, because the amount of advantage checks that we have on conversations when he talks to somebody, it's incredible. Like, he can roll. Right. So say, for example, he needs to roll a 22 or like a 18, whatever, you know. It's like sometimes you can go over the D20, to roll on like talks and like persuasion checks and stuff.
Yeah.
The highest we've seen so far was a 30, which with all of the advantages that Bard gets, we're able to just shit on that, which is really funny. So like it'll be like we'll like be talking to somebody and we'll roll, and it'll be like roll an 18, and we'll add all of our advantages. Say he rolls like a 12. It'll literally go from 12 to like 26, and I'm like, all right, I guess this is how it is. But yeah, the game is it's incredible. I will say the story is really fun.
Nice.
The characters, like the animations, the graphics, the story, the atmosphere, everything is it's so crisp, it's so well made.
Nice.
I love it. Like the story pretty much revolves around you wake up on this like alien spaceship.
Yeah.
And there's these mind flayers who look like some like crazy aliens. And they put this like weird worm in your head that's like that they were trying to use to control you.
Yeah.
But there ends up being a guardian that saves you from being mind controlled. So you just have this worm in your head, and you try to escape the ship, and then you go through like the first act trying to figure out like who you are, like what's going on, like who are these random side characters that were also on the ship. So funny enough, so a lot of the side characters that you can play as or that you can play with are also on that ship, and you can choose to save them or not. So I honestly, if we didn't go to save a lot of the side characters in the beginning, we would have never even had them to play as, and we would have never even seen their story.
Yeah.
Which is like incredible, because it's like, because you see a lot of games where it'll stop you from like killing somebody, or it'll stop you from like doing this action because it doesn't want you to like have that it doesn't want you to have the choice to kind of ruin the story, I guess, in a way. But this game does not give a fuck. You can kill whoever you want to kill. you can do whatever you want to do, and I love that. I love everything about it. If you kill off like a character in your camp, then fuck it. It is what it is. That's your decision, you know. Like we've only really played like we've went through the story with some of the side characters, not all of them. Mainly, funny enough, a lot of the story with the side characters kind of like leads into the main story anyway, so it's pretty cool because you can just like play through the main story, and then all of a sudden you'll go back to your camp, and all the characters will be there kind of just hanging out, and they'll have like a dialogue that you can go and talk to, and they'll it'll kind of like be like, oh, like, kind of like where like they were with you during what was going on, even though they were kind of just at camp. So you can kind of progress their story even though you're not playing with them, which I thought was really cool.
Nice.
Now, one thing I will say, that the gameplay is definitely not for everyone. The turn-based like skill, having to choose like skills based off of like how many action points you have, how many bonus action points you have. It's very, very slow. And not everyone, like a lot of people are not gonna like it. And I thought when I first played, now before I played Baldur's Gate 3, we played the Divinity series, which I mentioned I talked about as well. So we knew like what we were expecting out of this game, gameplay wise. Now when I first played Divinity, when I first heard about Divinity, I was very skeptical about whether I was gonna like it or not, because it was my first time ever playing like a turn-based game, and I was never a big fan of turn-based games. But we decided to just go for it anyway and to see if we would like it. And I will say the game was incredible. Like the being able to take over the fight and like really strategize like how you want to like go about the fight. I think it's really fun. Now I will say the fights do take a long time, because you have to wait for everyone's turn. You have to figure out what you want to do. Then you have to move. Then you have to attack. Then you have to wait for the AI to do everything. It takes a while, and I think a lot of like the time that we spend in the game is because we're like strategizing. We're figuring out what we want to do. Now, funny enough, the game is the game's very advocate for save scumming. So so save scumming is pretty much you quick save before something crazy happens.
Okay.
You go and do the crazy thing. If the crazy thing doesn't happen the way you want it to happen, you load and you say fuck it, I'm going again.
Yeah.
And we've done it. We did it in Divinity. We knew it was gonna be a thing in the Baldur's Gate 3. And at this point, I think it's just kind of like it is what it is, you know. Like if you wanna save scum, save scum. If you don't want to save scum, then don't save scum. But we think it's very fun to save scum, so we always do it. And I think it makes the gameplay way more fun because we'll go through like fights, we'll go through stories, we'll go through dialogue that we really want to see succeed.
Yeah.
And we'll just keep reloading until we get it to work. I think we spent there's one point in this story in Act 2, and we were trying to talk to, or there's a skill that lets you talk to animals.
Okay.
And there's a beast that's being trained by some like guy that's trying to kill us. So we go to talk to the beast, and the beast is like it's like this is my master, like don't you like touch my master or I'll kill you. And we're like, all right, fine. So we go to fight the master, and that beast just comes out and fucking wrecks us, right? So we reload, and my friend being a bard, he goes to talk to the beast, and he had a 30 roll to make it turn on its owner. So we're sitting there, and he's like, all right, we're gonna be a minute. So he quick saves right before he does the check. He goes for the roll, he misses it. We reload. He goes for the roll, he misses it. We reload. About 25 minutes later, we finally hit the check. We get the beast on our side, and we shit on the fight.
Yeah.
And we're like, honestly, it was worth it. It was really fun.
Nice.
And I think that's where the game really like shines. I think being able to just do what you want, however you want, is just where the game shines. I think
absolutely.
With how incredible everything is made, the story, it's fun, it's engaging. There's a lot of side questing, and there's a lot of side areas. There's like it's just everything everything is just brought out to if you want to do this thing, you go and do that thing.
Yeah.
And if you want to go and do that thing in a very unconventional way, if you could figure out how to do that, more power to you.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the game is just amazing.
Nice. So
I truly believe it's just such a good, it's such a perfect game.
Yeah. And I'm glad you feel that way, but I just kind of want to know, are there anything with your 64 hours of playing, is there anything that you would find like annoying or like a knock against Baldur's Gate 3?
So I would say the trading, because if you're trading with somebody, I mean obviously it kind of makes sense, but if someone's trading with an NPC, you can't trade with another NPC.
Yeah.
Or you can't trade with that NPC, which makes sense. It's fine, sure. I know the dialogue. So say if somebody leads into dialogue with somebody else, you have the option to join them, which is great. But you don't get a lot of. It kind of bugs out a little bit, which honestly it's fine. You know, it is what it is. It's kind of hard to just kind of like do what you want if you're gonna kind of like watch.
Yeah. Because
like obviously it's like I don't know. It's kind of hard to like figure out what I don't like about the game currently. I think what would I not like about Baldur's Gate 3? It's kind of, I don't know. I think the encumbrance. Funny enough, I think the encumbrance is kind of struggles. It's kind of nice because my barbarian is just full strength, so she usually just carries everything, and then I have Karlach to sell everything because she has higher barter. But yeah, I don't know. I think I really just think everything is just kind of well done. I don't really know much about like anything. Like I haven't really seen, like I haven't gone through any much negative about the game.
Yeah, I mean, if there's nothing that you can think of, that's fine. I'm not like saying that to try to like, rule because you call it perfection.
100%.
But like, cause like I know when I play a game, I'm like, oh, this like really annoys me. That's a knock. Or oh, I wish this was done better. That's a knock. So I just kind of like wanted to pick your brain a little.
I think I don't know. I never really thought about like I wish I had something to say because the game is definitely not 100% perfect. Like there's definitely issues here and there, but I just right now can't think of any.
Yeah, and that's fine if you can't.
Like I've gone through. I'm just trying to think of what I've seen. Like I've gone through. Yeah, a lot of this stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. It's kind of crazy. This has been. I don't know if it's just me just being like on some sort of like copium, but I think I haven't seen a game that came out that was just so well done.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of just like it kind of like racks my brain a little bit because I'm not used. I guess I'm just not used to it. So I don't know if I'm just like being oblivious to the things that are clearly not good, or if I just haven't noticed it during my own playthroughs. I will say that I was scared because I was talking to my friend about this, and I want to bring this up because I knew I was right.
Yeah.
Before the game came out, I was told that if somebody goes into a dialogue. Now this is not even anything bad. This is actually a positive because I was scared it was going to be a negative.
Right.
Before the game came out, I was told that if you go into a dialogue and it's like a major storyline dialogue, that anybody that you're playing with gets immediately thrown into that dialogue. And I was scared that it was going to kind of ruin the gameplay loop of like, I want to go do this thing while he goes and does this thing.
Yeah.
But it's not like that at all. They made it so if somebody gets into like some sort of like dialogue or some sort of like major storyline dialogue, there's a little option to like click. It's a little option on the left hand side next to the person's icon to listen in. Yeah. So I could be across the map, and I just have to click on the button, and I can hop right into the storyline. Or right into the conversation, which is amazing. So even if I don't want to listen in, I don't have to. And I was scared about that before the game came out. And then once the game came out, I saw that and I said, you know what? That's exactly what it was in Divinity, and it's exactly what I was hoping for in this game too.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, for issues and like anything, the only thing I've seen is just like random bugs here and there. But like that's just things that can get patched out. Like I've seen like last night I was playing and we had we did like a long rest in their camp, and sometimes we can have like some like random cutscenes happen when you go to camp. So randomly all of a sudden this fucking queen of the Githyanki, which is a race in the game, the queen like comes out of nowhere. Like we're just hanging out in the camp, so we get a long rest, and all of a sudden she like just like literally poofs into our camp out of nowhere. And so I was talking to my friend who's the bard, and my game ended up bugging out. So my character ends up like glitching out, waking up, and then I'm out of the dialogue, like I'm like out of the cutscene when I shouldn't have been, and I can see the queen herself, like actually like I can see her character in the game. Yeah. And I can like walk. I was able to like walk around the like the area. Yeah. And like see like I can like see the queen talking. I can see her like moving, which is like kind of cool. Yeah. So I had to like end up like I had to do some like weird shit to like get myself back into the dialogue. But like that's the only issues that's only really like real issues I've seen so far. I've just seen like random bugs with like audio, or random bugs with the cutscenes. Other than that, there's really not much that I've seen wrong. Like I think the game's just really well polished.
Nice. You had mentioned that like you were playing with other people. Is that like because I'm not familiar with like it sounds from what the gameplay that I've seen is like top down, like almost like
Yeah, it's like
Dungeons
it's like,
and Dragons, like roll a dice type gameplay.
Yep.
Not exactly like that, but in that same vein. Is that like so I guess like how does the co-op like I don't know if you've played just only co-op or if you've done like a little co-op, a little bit solo, but like how's that been?
It's honestly all about the same. I would say. I mean, it's all gonna be. Like if I mean, I haven't done anything solo, but I do know that you can play the game solo up to, you know, if you want to play with like 3 of the characters that you can interact with in the game.
Yeah.
But honestly, the way the game plays, it's like a top down. I don't know if isometric's the word I'm looking for. I don't think it is.
I think it is.
I don't know if that's the word for like top down type of like third part or third degree. God, I can't think of the word. I can't even think of the words right now. Third person view. It's like a third person isometric like top down view. And you can zoom in really close
right.
to like things if you want to zoom in. You can break the camera to go in like somewhere else, like far away, away from your character, so you can see other things. I will say though, so I know like at one point he got teleported. Like the friend I'm playing with, he got teleported to a different dimension while he was talking to somebody, and I went to click on him to see what was going on, and I was able to watch him, but I wasn't able to see the things spawn around him. I guess I will say that's one bad thing I did notice. I don't know if it was a bug or if it was just like game design, but he was in a different universe and there was like these like crazy dinosaurs around him. And I was looking around and I was like, I don't see anything, and he's like, you don't see these like big ass dinosaurs around me? I was like, no. And he's like, all right, hold on. So he had to like sneak through all these like crazy dinosaurs that were trying to kill him, and then he ends up getting into like a fight, and I just see him like stabbing like midair, or like, I see him just stabbing air, and I'm like, all right, I don't know what's going on, but I'm just gonna let him cook. So I was like, honestly, you do your thing. I'm gonna go make a sandwich. I'll be back. So I came back. He was done, and then we just kind of like moved forward. But that's really the biggest thing I've noticed. Like if you go somewhere, if someone goes really far away into like a different like zone or something, and you go to like watch him, you usually can't see the things around him other than him.
Okay.
So I guess that you know, I will say that's one thing that I don't like about the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the way like the game looks, like you know, having that like top down view, I kind of like it. I think it fits really well with the game, with the way the game works. I really think it's just, I think that just the gameplay loop itself is just, it's kind of meant for it.
Yeah.
And I think they fit it in really well. The dice rolling, there's a lot of like it literally is like so Baldur's Gate 3 is literally in the D&D universe. So the game is literal D&D. So you like everything you do is a check. Everything you do is a dice roll. If you want to do a perception check in the world, or while you're walking around, you'll randomly see on the top of your screen like failed or successful checks for things that are like around the world. So like there might be like holes that you can like dig up, or like treasure that you can just find randomly. But if you don't roll the perception check that you want to roll, or that it rolls for you, you just won't see the thing.
Yeah.
So like there'll be times where like we'll all 4 of us will like run through some like tunnel, and we'll all fail a perception check. So then we'll have to run back. We summon, like, say there's like a really cute dog in the game that you can summon. So we'll summon the cute dog that has a higher perception check, and then have him run through. And see if he succeeds in it or not. If he doesn't, we just have him, you know, dig up the shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's all literal D&D. So whenever I tell people now that I'm like playing D&D, it's like I used to play like actual like IRL D&D, but the game plays exactly like that, but it's just a literal like video game. It's
Nice.
like really really cool. Yeah, and it's really fun. I genuinely think it'll easily win Game of the Year, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I think it'll be Game of the Year this year.
Yeah, and I don't, because again, I haven't played it, but I'm not inclined to disagree. Just a large part of me thinks that Zelda is going to take that, but that's discussion we could have for another day. But
I think the big three for this year is Tears of the Kingdom, like you just mentioned.
Yeah.
So I think these are going to be the big three contenders for Game of the Year. It's going to be Starfield, Baldur's Gate 3, and Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. I think those three are going to be the nominees, and it's going to be between those three.
Yeah.
And I hope and pray that it's going to be Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
Because I think they nailed it out of the park.
It should be. If it's from critics and reviewers, it's literally like, it's going to, even though it might not be overnight, it's going to push the industry as far as RPGs are concerned forward, and that's all you can ask for from a game, is like be innovative to like set the standard, not kind of live within it. And so who knows, man, like I don't know, like I could see it being Baldur's Gate 3. I could also see it being Zelda.
I
and
agree.
in some cases I could see it being Starfield, because Starfield also got 10 out of 10 reviews as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's
hard.
Yeah, it's hard. I think
it's hard.
It's just gonna come down to how many. I don't know if I'm pretty sure every year they usually have something on like Steam and stuff for votes.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's gonna work this year, but we'll have to see. I think it'll be pretty fun to see see how everything ends up playing out at the end of this year.
Yeah.
I'm always excited for Game of the Year.
Yeah, the Game Awards.
The Game Awards, yeah.
The Game Awards, the actual like nominees and who wins is also exciting to watch, and then also like the new trailers for like stuff we didn't even know was like being worked on, bro.
Yeah.
I'm hyped for that, and we will be reacting to that. Not sure if we're gonna do it live. We'll probably just record it. We have time to discuss that, but I'm excited for the Game Awards, and it's literally only 2 months, literally exactly like a little under 3 months away, and I'm hyped for that. But is there anything else you want to talk about Baldur's Gate 3?
No, I think we hit everything we wanted to hit. I know we have more, but honestly, I'm down to just save the rest of it for another day.
Yeah.
I think we're a little over an hour now. I think your Starfield review is, I will say, out of all the things I've seen with like videos and like hearing people talk about it, yours was, everything you just said was one of the best reviews I've heard about Starfield.
Thank you. Much love.
I was listening. I didn't know much about the story. I didn't know much about the game other than just like random things here and there with like the way like the building works, the way that the modding, everything works. But yeah, your rendition of the story was the best thing I've ever heard so far about the story. I didn't really know much, and people never really like spoke about it other than like tidbits. But you nailed it.
Yeah.
It was great.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it. I'll definitely let you know how things go on my end when I play it.
I think you'll enjoy it. I don't think you'll enjoy it as much as Baldur's Gate 3, but like I think you will get your time's worth out of it.
Yeah, my plan is the game. So I saw people comparing both games, and it didn't make sense to me.
Nah.
Because they're both completely off the charts, like completely different styles of game. Like they like obviously they're both RPGs, but they're not the same type of RPG, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make sense why people were comparing them, and I don't plan on even remotely trying to compare both of them when I play the game. I want to play it. If I'm going to compare it to anything, I want to compare it to previous Bethesda titles.
Yeah.
But that's it. Nothing else. If I want to compare it to something else, I want to compare it to Bethesda only titles, like Fallouts and stuff.
And I genuinely think that like when it comes to Baldur's Gate 3, the only thing you could compare it to is like maybe Diablo 4, because they're kind of the same type of, roll the dice type game.
I don't know. It's like, again, like that's, I don't think Diablo is is really the same style of gameplay as Baldur's Gate. I mean, it has an isometric, like, top-down view.
Yeah.
But it's more MMO than it is. Than it is like story RPG. Like don't get me wrong, the story. It's my mic, but the story in Diablo is decent. It was pretty good. Diablo 4. I really wanted to play it, but I didn't want to spend all that money, so I ended up just waiting and watching other people play it, and I'm kind of glad I never did. But the game itself, like everything is just a lot different than you would expect. Like it's definitely, as I said before, it's more MMO. It's more like if you've ever played Path of Exile, it's more you want to grind for loot. It's like a looter shooter, but not the shooter part.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It's Baldur's Gate 3 is more story heavy.
Okay.
It's like it's way less looter. I think it's way less looter and more story.
Gotcha.
Cause I'm a pack rat, and I like to like hoard loot in that game just to sell it. But it's literally just to like, I just literally click take all, and then I add it to my wares, and then I just quick sell it to the vendors. I can get rich. But I see Diablo as more of like, you're looking to get loot to min-max your character to make them stronger, to then do content like uber bosses and doing like higher level maps like in Path of Exile, or doing higher level like content like dungeons and stuff in Diablo. But yeah, again, I just don't think you can compare Baldur's Gate 3 to Diablo.
Or even
you can't even you couldn't even compare Diablo to Starfield. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
like they're all in the same RPG genre, but they're all different types of RPGs.
Yeah, they're in different, literally they're in different ballparks.
It's like it's like subfolders in like the main folder, I guess. It's like they're all put into different categories of RPG.
Yeah, it's like it's the equivalent of saying like Mortal Kombat 1 is like the same as Dragon Ball FighterZ. It's like, well, they're both side scrollers, but like one is very like cartoonish, and like the other one is very like it's like they're fighting games, but they're vastly different, and the level of combos you can get in depth with are very different. Yeah.
No, I will say I said this before, where I'm really bad at fighting games, but I have a lot of friends that are good at fighting games.
Yeah.
And watching them play, and even me playing a little bit from what I did, playing Mortal Kombat and then playing Street Fighter, they're very different games.
Yeah.
Like, they're very different. It's actually like incredible how much different they are. So it's like, it's the same thing where they're both considered a fighting, like a side scroller fighting game, but they're in two like completely different categories.
Yeah, they're like in different lanes. They do different things for different. Their mechanics are different.
Yeah. So like that's my take on it. People can see that however they want, but I just think it's stupid to compare things that are kind of incomparable.
Yeah.
So like what was that one stupid shit with this is so off topic. But when people are comparing shit like One Piece and Naruto.
Yeah.
Or what was the other thing with like Dragon Ball?
They were comparing Gear 5 to Ultra Instinct. It's like, oh,
dude, it's so stupid, it's like, bro. No. Oh my god, it's so stupid. It's so funny to me to hear it, but it's just because how stupid it is. Like, it's so incredibly stupid. But all right, I digress. We can if you have anything else to say,
I'm
please
good,
do. So no, I think we hit the mark that we wanted to hit.
Yeah. Only thing I will add is just like when it comes to Starfield, just take time to like enjoy outposting if that's what you're into. Take time to enjoy ship modding, like actually get in depth with it. Get your hands wet. You know what I mean? And enjoy the gunplay. Enjoy like the persuasion that you can do with dialogue options. Just enjoy it. Enjoy Baldur's Gate 3. Whatever you love. If you love Starfield more than Baldur's Gate 3, enjoy it. If you love Baldur's Gate 3 more than Starfield, enjoy it. Whatever type of game you love, just enjoy it to the fullest.
Yep. I agree. I think whatever you like, you like.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't like something, it is what it is. Someone else is gonna like it.
Yeah.
So you just enjoy what you enjoy at the end of the day. So with that in mind, I'm good to go if you're good to go.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, so I guess this is a good way to end it. It was nice talking to you again.
Hell yeah.
We'll save the Microsoft leaks for another day because I know that's gonna be a big topic.
That's his own hour-long topic, man.
Mm-hmm. So with that in mind, have a good one. Everyone, enjoy yourselves, and always remember to always be degenerate.
Hell yeah.
Peace.
Peace.